GST Council meeting and the media conference taking place, talking about all the decisions, and key among the decisions is to do with online gaming. Now, when it comes to online gaming and casinos and horse racing, the rate that has been fixed for GST is 28%, and this applies on full value. And yes, this is irrespective of whether it's a nature of the game. Is it going to be a game of chance or a game of skill? 28% levy by way of GST stands. Let's find out what the industry thinks of this. The CEO of the All India Gaming Federation, Roland Landers, is with us. Roland, good to have you this evening. At the end of the GST Council meet, there is a 28% levy on online gaming. What do you think that's going to do to the industry?
Hello, Vikram. Thanks for having me. So my first reaction would be that it is, having heard what the council has decided, it is extremely unfortunate for the industry. It's, we believe that this decision is unconstitutional and it's irrational. It also, disregards this entire 60 years of settled jurisprudence as far as games of skills are concerned. And hence, our initial reaction would be that it is extremely unfortunate because it will be extremely detrimental for the future of this industry.
Down for us, Roland. Why is it going to be so detrimental? 28% is the highest slab. We understand that. Any industry which is going to have that kind of taxation is going to have it rough. But help us understand the gaming industry, where it's at, and why you are hoping that the slab under which GST would be levied would be much lower.
So because, the group of ministers was set up as way back as 2020, there was an initial report that was submitted. And then there was another report. We had the opportunity, as the AGF to meet with all of the group of ministers, explain to them the legal jurisprudence as well as, what are global best practices also. And in that report also, the recommendations was that it should be 28% on the gross gaming revenue, what is termed as the platform fee, what the platform charges as its fee for facilitating the gaming business or the gaming service to the consumer. Now, to put it on the entire face value, while this industry, has been growing over the last 5 to 7 years, actually coinciding with the Digital India initiatives, we have today 950 gaming companies, 80% of which are, the startups and the MSME segments. Now that would find it extremely difficult. I would not say difficult. It will be impossible for them to, survive. If you look at the, the construct of the breakup, whatever a consumer pays for participating in a pay-to-play, format, the gaming platform retains a certain value. You can say it's about 10%, average out at 10% for a gaming platform for facilitating the service. So the 18% or the 28% would have been paid on that, has been paid on that till today. Now you're saying that, if 10 of us, like for example, participate in a game with 10 rupees, so it's 28% on the 100, you see. So what is left for the consumer and for the platform will be extremely, small. And you compare that with what we've been fighting for the last 8 years now, which is the entire influx of offshore gambling, illegal, gambling sites that are offering their services from, islands, from international markets. And they don't pay any tax. So perforce this consumer would prefer to go to that, or would have to, forcibly go there and play on those illegal gambling sites, which is not the objective of anybody, right?
Like you are correctly pointing out, Roland, is on the overall turnover. There is no taking away from that. There's also the fact that there is no differentiation between a game of skill and a game of chance. What was the representation that you made? And now that it is going to be treated at par, obviously it has implications, doesn't it?
Yeah, so that is extremely unfortunate because as you are aware, over the last 1 year, from June of 2022 to now, we've got, so much support from the central government, and particularly from our nodal ministry, which is the Ministry of IT and Electronics, to, bring this entire self-regulatory landscape for games of skill, and, to also at the same time address this issue of, offshore gambling, because the path that is going to be followed, if the SRBs would actually qualify basis certain qualitative and quantitative, framework, what constitutes a game of skill. And so that, so the importance on a game of skill and legit business activity, which, as I go back to the, the settled jurisprudence of over last 60 years. Now that entire thing, in this case, in the case of tax, now carrying that forward, when you look at the direct tax, that is been, the demarcation has been made over there. But in the case of the indirect tax, in this particular matter, it does not is not showing, the same in the same manner. That distinction is not being made here.
Finance Minister did speak about moral factors that had to be accounted for while taking this decision. As far as the industry is concerned, the business of online gaming is concerned, tell us about how this is going to affect what is currently on with what you can expect with a 28% GST levy.
Yeah, so as industry, we would have to weigh all the options. Obviously, our wish at this juncture would be that, it is reconsidered. But having, made it clear that the amendment would be passed, I believe, then, we would have to really weigh all the options when, the amendment does come into force. But just to give you, some numbers, this is a $2.5 billion industry that is expected to, estimated to double by 2025. And there is this entire ecosystem of, game developers at the back end, and the entire economics, apart from the economics, also the human capital element of, the jobs that have been created over the last 12 years. And all of that would be put into jeopardy, I believe, if this is implemented, because it is just not sustainable.
A major fallout when you talk about the attractiveness of a nascent industry, as it would be, and you did mention global standards. Those are not going to be here in India, clearly, with a 28% levy. So how do you think this is going to reduce the kind of attractiveness that the industry offers at a time that India needs to create more jobs?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely right, Vikram. You look at the entire ecosystem is going to get, is going to be upheaval, because you look at, these bright young minds, engineers, and, innovators who are innovating in gaming formats as we speak. And that is why there is this large number of gaming companies that exist here, 950. These are Indian bred, companies with a major proportion being attributed to the startup and MSMEs. And then all of these are also, funded by investor groups. So that also would be, and when the business model itself, which is the revenue attributed to the platform for facilitating the service, is, going to come under threat, then this entire ecosystem would get, imbalanced. And that is why I would say that, the industry itself being attractive for, for young engineers and other, job enthusiasts is going to be compromised.
We'll keep watching developments as far as the All India Gaming Federation is concerned for the representations that you have made, and now with the announcement that has been made by the Finance Minister at the end of the 50th GST Council meeting of a 28% levy on gaming, and they're not differentiating between games of chance and games of skill. All of that is going to have implications, and it's good to get your perspective on this. Thank you very much for joining us with that. Absolutely.
Thank you.